Hello everyone, Virgilio Urbano, the Healthy Italian, and I made one batch of kimchi already, and now I'm doing my second batch. So I want to share this with you, and I will do this in segments and not bore you with cutting up a lot of this stuff. But I did want to just go over a couple things that make things helpful. I went to a Korean supermarket, kind of a big one, and I picked up this. I don't know if you can really see how big this thing is, but it is probably 3 feet in diameter. With the screen, in the bowl, because I don't like I don't like using tap water or all the chlorine and fluoride. So what I do is, after I put everything in here and I rinse it and salt it, I can keep dipping it in my reverse osmosis water that I'll pour in here. So I mean, this was $13, this was $15. I mean, where do you find stuff like this? So kind of neat to make a ride out there. So I'm not gonna do your traditional kimchi where they cut it in quarters and they soak it and layer everyone. I do, they call it kind of a quick kimchi because it's easy to eat, and it's in, you can put it in your jar and scoop it out as you need it. A couple other things is they usually call for fish sauce, and just not a fan of rotting fish, because that's what really fish sauce is. It's just like rotted fish. So, and it does give a pretty nasty stench. So I'm going to try, instead I saw soy sauce, and I'm not a big fan of soy sauce because they say they don't know the GMOs and all that. So this is the Bragg's Liquid Aminos. I do prefer the coconut aminos. It's very expensive, so this is made from soy protein, non-GMO, organic, and it does have all the amino acids. So I think for this, I think I'm okay. So I'm going to go with the liquid aminos, the Bragg's, as a replacement for fish sauce. Also, I'm going to go. They usually call for daikon radishes. I'm going to go with the watermelon radish. I really love the flavor of watermelon radishes, so we're going to give that a try. So we're going to do watermelon radishes. They also call for sugar, and I'm not a fan of sugar, even organic sugar. It's sugar. So I read that if you're really dead against using sugar, put in an apple or a pear, because the sugar is what the good bacteria feeds on while this is fermenting. So I'm going to try some organic apples. So that's a little bit different. And then everything's I'm still. I'll see in my next segment. They do call for some sweet rice flour to make your paste. So I might try a little bit of that. I haven't been doing a lot of flour or process, but maybe I'll try just a little bit with all the hot peppers. Obviously you need Napa Cabbage. I'm going to put carrots, green onions, Leeks, and maybe a little white onion, and I'll mix that all together, and I'll show you that I have a great processor that just this stuff goes really, really quick. So just one thing, I'm just going to cut this one head up. I did take a few leaves off because I want to save some, because when I jar it, I use this as kind of as a barrier to push it down, and as I put some stones, I use marble, because marble won't dissolve in that acid. You don't want to use I use granite, not marble. So you take I take a couple of the leaves that are kind of loose, and then you need a pretty big knife. Cut the ends off there, and what you kind of want to do is just you're going to make them into and quarter this one more time. And you want to make them into basically bite-sized pieces. So, I didn't cut all the way at the end, but so you can see pieces like this. That's probably a perfect size for the jar. They're not all going to be that way, so So you do that. Now I'm making a massive batch. I have probably 8 heads of lettuce here. So I'm going to go ahead and chop this up. I'm going to let it. I'm going to salt it. I'm going to rinse it. I'm going to salt it. I'll just keep coming back with segments and try to speed this up. Okay, so I went ahead and I chopped up my Napa cabbage. I have five big heads, and I tell you, if you can get invested, look at the size of this thing, it's beautiful. So what I've done, the reason I got this is because I take my reverse osmosis water and I fill up these 5-gallon containers, so I always have water because the machine only holds 2 or 3 gallons in the tank. So I fill these up when it's not busy, and I always have water. So I went ahead and filled this up, and being in the strainer already, it's in the water, and all I gotta do is lift it. So this was my old pan I used to use, and you can see that it's dwarfed, in the size of this. And this wasn't big enough. I was using 2 or 3 of these. So what's nice about this is now I'm going to throw this in the bottom in this pan, and I'm going to now let my water drain, from the cabbage that's washed. A rule of thumb on the salting is about a 1/4 ounce of salt per head. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and salt this, and turn this around, and then I'm going to let it sit for a while on this. You can see kind of how much is in there. You're going to see that this is really gonna shrink down from all the salt. Make sure you use sea salt, not iodized salt, but it's more of a personal preference. This is some salt I got at the Korean store. It is a basically this says natural sea salt. I do like the pink Himalayan salt, and I will use some of that when I finish this, but this is more for the breaking down. So we're going to go ahead and we'll let this do its thing. We do need to rinse it after, so that's why I have that water underneath that I'll be able to dunk it in there and rinse it. I might have to rinse it a second time, but so we're going to go ahead and salt this, and then we'll be back with the next step. Okay, so I let my cabbage, I salted it, and I let it stay for about, basically a couple hours, and it pretty much wilted. It's half the size as it was before, you probably can't really tell. But what I really like about this giant bucket is now it has the water in there, and I have my good reverse osmosis filtered water, not that chlorine, fluoride, poison stuff that just kind of gets into everything. So now I can just kind of rinse it off really good. Get that salt off of there, and then once more time, just I'll let it drain, and then we'll start preparing our other vegetables. So our cabbage is ready, and it's 5 heads. I mean, it really shrank in half the size. So I love my big giant screen here. I love it. This is the only way to go. So we'll let that drain, and then we'll start prepping up the vegetables and make our kimchi sauce and all that stuff. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so I have prepped most of my vegetables, and once again I'm going to let you know what I'm putting in this. I had green onions, which I've already chopped up into about 1-inch pieces, kind of cut them at an angle. They look a little better. I'm going to do some leeks, and I have white onion, and I was telling you that I'm going to use, instead of the daikon, I'm going to use the watermelon radish that looks something like this. Absolutely love these. You slice them up kind of really thin and throw some lemon juice and cayenne pepper. They're just quite delicious. I do have fresh garlic. These are already, the skins are off, but they're fresh. I have apple, which I'm going to use as a sugar substitute, and then I'm going to add some peppers, but I'll show the peppers when I do the do the sauce. But I did want to show you is this is a RoboCoop. This is a commercial food processor. Maybe the best contraption ever for a person. Now you can pick these up sometimes at an auction. You know, for half the price. They run about $1,000. But I am making this huge batch of cabbage, and when I do sauerkraut, it saves me an hour to do 15 heads of sauerkraut. You do in 2 minutes instead of an hour. So I wanted to show you how this comes out. Now this is a slicing blade because I'm going to do a couple of different things. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our bok choy and we're going to throw that in. And you can see there's bok choy. So we're gonna. What I love about this machine is that it ejects. So it's fantastic. So we're gonna throw that in. And actually, I'm gonna see how the apples come out. I was thinking about a different blade. So they come out kind of nice in little pieces like that. So I think I'm gonna do all the apples. And you can see, I mean, as fast as I can put this thing in, you know, that one's a little on the bigger side. But, my eyes are starting to water a little bit. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get all these apples in. And, boy, that, might have to take our water from that, from the bok choy. I'm sorry, from the Leeks. I might have said bok choy before. I'm going to actually give the garlic a try, see what happens with that. Oh, nice. They're coming out in nice little slivers of garlic. So I'm going to go ahead and just put those in there. And, you know, I don't have a recipe. Everything is on the fly. So, you know, just whatever works for you. Right now I'm probably putting in, you know, 40 cloves of whole garlic in there. In my opinion, you can never have too much garlic. Alright, so that took care. You can see how fast that was. That was, I mean, and look how beautiful everything is. You know, just and I mean, I just can't even tell you how I love this machine. So that's the one. And remember, we got that big bowl, so I'm just going to dump that in there. Can't tell you how nice that big bowl is, too. So now I'm going to change the blade because I want to get kind of a longer julienne cut. So we're going to go ahead and take this out. It's pretty easy to change. I just got to find there's my other blade. So I pop that off. And it just, again, I know a lot of people are not going to have this type of equipment, but if you can get one, and if you start doing a co-op where, you know, everybody pitches in, maybe everybody pitches in a few $100s, and, you know, you'll make your money back in no time. So now we're going to do, now we just had a little, now you can open up all the way, and now we'll take full, you know, full size. So here's the watermelon radish, the whole thing. And look how beautiful these julienne. Now I have 3 different blades. This is the biggest one, but look how beautiful that is. You know, and it's so easy to eat. And I mean, that's just awesome. So I kind of wanted to show you that. Look at the beautiful color, the radish. You know, so. And then we're going to do some onions to see how the onion comes out with this blade. I was debating if I should use this one or the other one. And I have to say that the onion with this blade didn't work too good. So we're gonna have to go back to the other blade. And then we're going to try a couple of carrots. Instead of slicing them the long way like we did with the leeks, let's go ahead and try the carrots. And and I think we want to put them in the longer way. The bigger the carrot in this case is probably better. So yeah, once again we got these beautiful carrots like this. So this is so easy to eat. It's almost like coleslaw, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of this. I wanted to show you this amazing machine. You know, like I said, it's expensive. It's commercial quality. It's called a RoboCoupe. They have different models. I think you get a basic one for $7.99, and then they have all the different blades, and you're just going to have to play with the blades. But if you're doing sauerkraut, oh my God, it's just unbelievable. And you know, and something like this, you can see how much, you know, how much stuff I have. And you know, this, even with this, all the equipment I have, this is a lot of work. So in my opinion, when I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do it the first time, and I'm going to do a lot of it, because this is going to stay for months and months and months. And I don't have to worry about it. And if you have people helping you, you can have a kimchi party, you know, and then 3 or 4 people, you pitch in, you get everything going. So all right, well, I will. I'm going to finish this up, and then okay. So you know, I prepped up a bunch of the other vegetables, sliced those all up. Now I'm preparing the kimchi sauce, and again, this is my version. One thing I did forget: ginger. All right, so don't forget the ginger. And I'm sorry, I don't have measurements. This is, I just create, and I just try one thing and add so much, and I just look proportion. You really can't go wrong on this. Also, what I did is, you know, my kimchi is smoking. I mean, people that eat my kimchi, they know it. And so right now I took some jalapenos. I put those in there with the ginger. I took some. I want to say these were green chilies, but they're something in the same family that I found at the Korean store, and I left them in nice big chunks so that you actually can know what they are when you bite into them. So you know, I don't know how much I had. I had a bag, and I just used all of them, and I cut those up. So I'm throwing those in, and then I went and I got these Thai peppers, the little ones, and I was going to chop those up, but I think I'm just going to throw those in whole and just leave them in there. They'll make a great decoration. They look really colorful, and then if somebody wants to eat them, you know, good luck. You know, so then we're going to go, and again at the Korean store I got, this is hot pepper powder. Okay, so I'm gonna, you know, we got a pretty big batch, so I'm going to go with a half a cup of hot pepper powder. And then I got a red pepper powder, which I'm assuming is not nearly as hot, and for the, you know, so we want to get that flavor. And you know, this is something I'm experimenting with. It just sounded like a good combination. So there's a full cup of this, and you got to remember we have a big ass batch, okay? And then I'm not going to do the fish oil in this recipe. I am going to do the the liquid aminos, and I'm going to. Oh, sorry about that. Thought this was ready to go. So I'm going to probably put about a cup, well, maybe a cup and a half. So let's go ahead and, because we do have to cover everything. And you can find this at the health food store, and it's really, really, I mean, the amino part is great. Like I said, the only drawback of this, it is made with soy, but at least it's the organic, non-GMO soy. Okay, so I went ahead and I took 1 cup of rice flour, and with about 4 cups of water, and I kept whisking it, and it's really this kind of thick. And the reason why I think they use this in one of the recipes, the true kimchi recipe that I saw, is that it has the sugar, and like I said, remember I put the apple in to get the sugar. Well, so I guess this is also sugar, but I wanted to try it. I usually don't do rice, you know, and processed flour, but you know, it's just 1 cup, so we're going to give it a shot, you know, and we're going to mix that all together. Okay, so I'm going to be digging my hands in here. So again, a spatula, just do that. I'm going to get a glove. It's real important. Real important to wear gloves when you're dealing this hot stuff, because if you have any cuts on your hands, you're going to know it. Okay, so I'm going to mix this up. You can see, it's, whew, oh boy. Oh, I wish I don't know if you can see this. Oh my God, I'm afraid to try it in its solid state right now. But so we're gonna. So that looks pretty thick, and got that mixed up. I'm going to go get the giant bowl. One thing I've already noticed, and this is the first time I've used these bowls, I'm going to get some fresh gloves here. Well, it's okay. We'll get that. And this thing's got a little weight behind it now. That it literally you're gonna have to take the garden hose to wash this thing out. So as you can see here, I'm gonna show you. I have the cabbage in there and all the stuff that I prepped up, and there's no, like I said, there's no rhyme or reason on this. I probably would have did a little more Napa cabbage if I knew it was going to shrink so much. All right, so we're going to put this paste in here. And if it's really too thick, I might add a little water. And I don't know if you've heard me talk about water. I mean, you would only use filtered water or reverse osmosis water. Okay, so I'm taking this sauce and mixing this up, and it's starting to cover. Looks. I have to say that, for eyeing this and not really going by a specific recipe, it's starting to cover pretty darn good. And as you mix it, the cabbage is going to release the lactic acid, or if you think it's water, but it's not, the lactic acid, and it gives you that juice. And then as that juice, now you can see, if you can see how nicely it's covered. And get this other bowl. I'm just going to get the rest of this out of here. There's a little bit in there. So I've made some modifications to your standard kimchi recipe, but I do own a restaurant. I do a lot of creations myself, and one of the things that we don't want to forget, the reason why we're even making this kimchi is because of the amazing properties of the lactic acid and the good, probiotics. I call them the happy guys. The happy guys swimming around in your stomach, is so good for you. And these countries that, that eat sauerkraut and kimchi, they have amazing, the health benefits, and some of the diseases that they don't get there. There's something to be said for it. So, again, this one I made, spicy as hell. You guys can, can modify this any way you want. So you just keep tossing it, and you can let it sit a little bit if you want, but you just want to make sure that it's mixed real good. And I have to say, this looks wonderful. So I'm really happy. I'm sorry I don't give you exact measurements. I just kind of wing everything, and I try a little bit of everything and add things. And if I have it, I'll use it. So let's just recap the ingredients real quick. And so you got Napa cabbage. This particular recipe I did with green onions. I did with leeks. I did with white onions. I put carrots and watermelon radish instead of the regular, I forget and I blanked out on the daikon radish that they usually use. I put some, I want to say they're, like green chilies, but there's something different, jalapenos, and then the Thai peppers. I threw those in there for color, and that's pretty much it. And then obviously then we have our two different flavor. I got a hot pepper, and then we have the regular pepper. Then I did the liquid aminos from Bragg instead of fish sauce, and then we used a rice flour. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and show you how you jar this, and I'm going to let this kind of sit and baste, and then we'll go ahead and do the jarring and how you need to jar it and how long to let it sit. Okay, so we're getting ready to bottle this, and one of the things that I just have, I grow my own radish sprouts, and I have a lot. So what I'm thinking is, I'm just going to throw these beautiful sprouts, right inside this, right inside. I'm just going to peel these off and mix these up and do my, why not? They're so nutritious, and why not throw those in there? And I'll just try to break those up, and then I'll mix those around real quick. But this is a way to to utilize some stuff. And obviously, I'm not sure if I can eat this many sprouts. And these are fresh, and I will be doing a video about how to, the machine that I bought that makes it, dummy proof. And these have a wonderful spice to them when they're young, So the only thing is they have such a good root system. They kind of bunch together. So we're gonna try to get those apart and get those in there. Yeah, I should have probably spent a little more time taking those apart before we started this, but it'll be all right. It's all organic, and so we have our jar, and one of the things is, one of these little fillers, always put a plate underneath it for spillage. And I'm just going to do the one jar, and I kind of want to show you what you do, because I really pack it in. And as you pack it in, you should start getting, you should start getting juice. All right, so you want it to be completely covered in that, in the lactic acid that is created. And if like normally on the very bottom, it's going to be a lot more water from the cabbage, the lactic acid. Okay, so as we're going to get this up, and then I'm going to start really pounding it in with kind of a little crusher. And if you can see, there's all liquid in the bottom there. If you can see that right there. So there's all liquid in there. Okay, so and you want to get all the air out of there. So we don't want to fill this completely up to the top. What I do is I boil some water and add some salt, and that's if you don't have enough lactic acid that's covering the vegetables. This is just maybe a little, depending on each one. It's pretty darn close, and I'm sure if I let it sit, which I will do. But I'm going to show you what you do. So I would probably go about that high, and then you take the ones that you took off, the sloppy, and you use that as a dam, and you put that in over the top. Okay, and that covers it and prevents it from coming up. And let me grab a couple stones here, and what I've done is I just took some granite. Make sure it's not marble, because marble will dissolve. I got some granite, and I put that down, and then when you put the cap on, the rock will try to push it up, and the rock will hold everything down under the liquid. So I would normally let this ferment for about 5 days. Based on how much I have here, I'm probably going to fill up 12 half gallons of kimchi. And so if right now it doesn't look like, it's just just a little dry right in the very top. If I really push down, I can see the fluid coming up. So I'm just going to add a little salted water to that, and just give it a little covering and make sure it's covered. Within a day and a half, this is going to start to gas. And if the lid is not on very tight, it is going to ooze out. So I usually make it tight and I back it off just a little bit so it kind of like finds its way out so it doesn't get too tight. Sometimes I have to burp it myself. One of the other things is my hands are dirty, but I usually like the white caps. They're so much easier to do than these lids. They got a better grip. So, especially for the fermentation. So I will leave this out for 5 days, 5 or 6 days, and as long as it's, you can hear it. It screams gas. And I usually put it in, I'll probably put it in this big tub when I take it outside and hose it down. And I'll put it in there and I'll cover it with some towels. And then as all the stuff oozes out, it'll just go into the tub. I don't have to worry about it. And then after that, you put it in the fridge, and you're good to go. One thing that it does do is after you put it in the refrigerator, and it's a slow fermentation, very slow, and it will continue to get better. Some people put it in the fridge right away for maybe 3 to 4 weeks. I like giving it a jump start. I give it that 5 days, and then I put it in the fridge. But you're going to find that it shrinks, and then the fluid level is going to come down. So once again, you got to open it up. You put a little salted water on the top. And then you should only have to do that one time. And then it'll stay in the fridge. And I don't know how long it stays. I bet you it can stay for a year. I'm thinking, 6 months at the most that I would want to leave it in there. I go through so much of this and I share it with people and everybody loves this. As you remember, if you go back to some of my original videos, the reason this lifestyle change is, because I wanted to lose weight when I was in Italy with my brother. As of today, today is April 28th. I have lost 36.5 pounds by juicing, wheatgrass, eating good, fermented vegetables, making my own yogurt, and I'm not starving. I eliminated a ton of carbs, and that works for me. That doesn't work for everybody. Some people, maybe a high carb, low fat diet works. But for me, paleo to an extent, not hardcore paleo, but pretty darn close. So this is how I make my, I guess I'll call it Italian kimchi. And my last batch was fantastic, and I can't wait to try this one. Actually, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna test it. We're gonna see how hot it is. I have to say, that's extremely comfortable. I got a little warmth. That is not bad at all. The last time I took the whole chilies and I pureed them in the Blendtec and I put those on, I almost needed gas mask after that thing came out of the blender. So the chilies that I have here, so actually what I might do is, I think I'm going to add some more. I'm going to add another half cup of the hot chili. Well, 1 cup of each, because I'm not tasting. I expected this thing to be blazing. I mean, I know that it, as it sits, yeah, that's not bad at all. Not even bad at all. So we're going to go ahead and kick that up a notch, and I'm sure as all the peppers sit and it marinates, it's going to get better. But the way I like kimchi is, you know it when you're eating kimchi. So I hope this video helps you. This is a giant batch. You can just take it and you can eye it. There's no rhyme or reason, on the ingredients. It's what you like. Radishes. I do the daikon. I do the watermelon, but you can do the daikon. You want to do fish oil, fish sauce, use fish sauce. I like the aminos. If you're doing a small batch, the coconut aminos are my favorite, but they're more expensive, and I thought for this it wouldn't be that big of a deal to do the regular aminos. And so good luck on your kimchi quest. I hope you make it. I hope you like it spicy like I do. But if not, you can make it any way you want. and I can't wait. I'll try to put a follow-up on how good the kimchi. Hello everyone. Okay, so I've let this ferment actually for 6 days now, and I just wanted to show you this is how it stayed in this tub. So it was really nice because it really started to gas, and there was juice all over the place. So you might need, what I recommend is, especially if you use the plastic caps, if you have them on too tight, they will crack. So you want to tighten them, and then I back them off about a half a turn, and that'll allow to keep the air out, and it'll just literally just gas out a little bit. I haven't had any issues with mold or anything like that. So the big tub works real good. I only made that big batch. Only made 7 half gallons, which is actually substantial. The reason also that I went to the half gallons, which I didn't mention, is that the bigger the lactic fermentation is, like the more product. So like if you're doing a crock, which I have sauerkraut going right now, there's just more probiotics, more happy guys, in your belly. So we're going to take out our stone. We're going to take out our barrier, and we're going to give this a little test. Now normally you would refrigerate this, so it'd be nice and crunchy, but we're just going to give it a quick taste. Wow. And woo! Well, I guess I stepped it up a notch because I did add some more crushed pepper, but that is just absolutely delicious. If you love spicy cabbage like I do, that is just fantastic. One thing, very important: do not take your dirty fork. Do not double dip, because the bad bacteria in your mouth will kill the good bacteria that's in here. So always scoop it out, and then, or if you're going to do like I did, take one piece out and that's it, and then go get something else clean. So kind of an important little tip. So this is all going to go in the fridge, and I'll be sharing it with friends, customers, and obviously eating it every day. I love this with a chicken breast, with kimchi and a salad. Remember the reason this becomes so good for you is that you eat a little bit every day. You get those probiotics and keeping your stomach going. And the longer it sits, it's probably the fermentation continues. So there'll be more. 5 billion micro. That's nothing. These get into the 50, 100, and then I suspect that my sauerkraut will be in the trillions of microorganisms that are growing in there. I'm letting that go. It's going to go 6 weeks in the crock. So I did start a video on that, and when I open that, I'll do that. But I hope this helped you out, and good luck with your homemade kimchi. Remember, you can modify this any way you want. I will put in the description, because I know I kind of been sporadic of the ingredients I put in. I'm kind of looking forward to finding that apple in there, and I bet you, that sweet, spicy is going to be fantastic. So good luck to you, and we'll see you on the next video. Ciao.